What if your greatest virtue was quietly destroying you? Have you ever been the one everyone leans on, only to feel your own foundation cracking? You show up, you give, you support, but the tank empties. And no one seems to notice the fuel gauge is on zero. You become the giver, the helper, the reliable one. And somewhere along the way, you forget how to receive. And then one day, you realize a terrible secret. Endless generosity can be a one-way ticket to resentment. What if I told you that true strength isn't found in the endless? Yes, but in the courageous, strategic no? This isn't about becoming hard-hearted. It's about protecting the very light that makes you kind. Today, I want to share a parable about a man named Brian, and the lesson that saved his spirit in a small town nestled between gentle hills. There lived a man named Brian. His heart was a deep well, and he believed his purpose was to draw from it for anyone who was thirsty. A broken cartwheel? Brian would fix it. A listening ear needed? Brian had two. His name became synonymous with generosity. Ask Brian, they'd say, he'll never turn you down. He wore their gratitude like a medal. But privately, he felt a hollow ache. His own projects gathered dust. His energy was a currency spent on everyone else's emergencies. Yet, the thought of refusing felt like a betrayal of his own identity. One afternoon, his neighbor approached. Brian, the storm last night damaged my shed. You're so good with repairs. Brian's own back was sore from yesterday's labor, but he saw the anxiety in his neighbor's eyes. He smiled. Of course, he spent the day under the sun, hammering and lifting as he wiped his brow. The neighbor peered out. Looks sturdy. Oh, while you're here, the gate hinge has been loose for weeks. No mention of a cold drink, no offer to lend a hand. Just the next item on the list. That night, Brian stared at the ceiling, his muscles burned. But a deeper fire of frustration smoldered within. Why did his help seem to shrink in value the more he offered it? A well without a boundary becomes a swamp. Weeks later, a cousin came to him with a familiar look. Brian, a temporary shortfall. You've been my rock before. Money changed hands. With a promise of return, months drifted by, silence. When Brian gently inquired, the cousin's demeanor turned cold. I thought we were family. You're keeping score now? The air left Brian's lungs. His kindness had been weaponized against him. The final knot tightened at a community gathering. A new bench for the town square was needed. Eyes, as if by magnetic pull, settled on Brian. Brian concrafted. He doesn't mind. The agreement rippled through the room before he could even draw breath. In that moment, he saw it clearly. He had not built respect. He had built an expectation. His generosity was no longer a gift, it was a duty others felt entitled to. Despondent, he walked to the riverbank at twilight. An elderly traveler, resting nearby, observed him. You carry the weight of the whole village on those shoulders, she remarked. Not unkindly, Brian, startled, simply nodded. It feels like my purpose, he confessed. Is it purpose? She asked. Or is it a prison you've mistaken for a palace? She let the question hang. A tree that gives all its fruit, season after season, never gets to grow. It just becomes a stump for others to sit on. Not every outstretched hand deserves to hold what's precious to you. What should I do? Brian whispered, the truth dawning. Be a guardian. Not just a source, she said. A gate protects the garden. Decide who enters. Your compassion is a treasure. Guard it. The next morning, the neighbor returned. About that gate hinge, Brian took a steadying breath. I won't be able to help with that, the neighbor blinked. Incredulous. But you said you would. I need my time today, Brian stated, his voice calm but firm. I suggest the carpenter in the next town. The neighbor's expression shifted from surprise to frustration. But Brian held his ground. A profound, trembling freedom followed. When the cousin next asked for a favor, Brian was ready. I can't. Our previous arrangements haven't been settled. The backlash was immediate accusations of change. Of selfishness. You're right, Brian replied. I have changed. I now give my kindness where it is nurtured, not just where it is demanded. At the following town meeting, Brian stood. I love this community, he began. But moving forward, my skills and time will be part of a partnership. Not an automatic donation. The room stirred. Some faces showed understanding, others outright annoyance. It didn't matter. The chains were off. Seasons changed. A curious thing happened. Those who had taken most began to offer nods of respect, not just lists of requests. A younger farmer approached him differently. Brian, I'd value your guidance on my barn. I can trade labor or pay your rate. The exchange was clean, clear, and mutual. For the first time in years, Brian felt his value was seen, not just used. The traveler passed through again. She found Brian in his workshop, building a beautiful box for himself. He looked peaceful, focused. You found the balance, she said. I did, he smiled. I learned that guarded generosity grows deeper roots. I help, but from a full cup, not an empty one. If you see yourself in Brian's early days, the perpetual helper, the silent reservoir, hear this now. Your compassion is your power, but only if you own it. Setting a limit is not building a wall. It's laying the foundation for a stronger you. Don't let guilt be the tax you pay for having a heart. Your energy, your time, your spirit, these are sacred. Allocate them with intention. If this story resonated with you, if you're learning the difference between being kind and being consumed, then you belong here. Please like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought. We explore the stories that help you build a wiser, more resilient inner world. Protecting your light isn't selfish. It's how you ensure you don't burn out. Stay wise,